Welcome to episode number 17 of the Body to Lead podcast. Today's question, how long should I exercise for? I'm Kyle Hubbard, personal trainer, nutrition coach, and international fitness presenter.
And I'm Georgie Hubbard, personal trainer and mindset coach. And we're here to answer all of your biggest fitness and nutrition questions in under 10 minutes.
We care about your health and well-being and are prepared to cut through the noise to help you find the answers. Having worked with thousands of clients, we've seen and heard it all.
So if you're ready to take back control and know what it takes to get fit and healthy, then this is the podcast for you. Episode number 17 is here.
Yep.
And the question today is, how long should I exercise for? A really good question.
Great question.
Yeah. Well, I just thought I'm just going to jump on Google to see what Google has to say.
Love Google.
And I brought up a study. So according to the American College of Sports and Medicine, they recommend that we should get at least 30 minutes of moderate, intense aerobic activity 5 days a week, or engage in 20 minutes of vigorous activity 3 days a week. Kyle, what's your thoughts on that?
Okay, I'll just dive into what that really means, because that can kind of, that's great, I think, but sometimes people can read that and go, what is that? So, so the first one was
5 days, 30 minutes.
30 minutes of moderate activity. Okay, so it's basically getting your heart rate up, 30 minutes, but really getting your heart rate up, like not super intense where you're going sprinting, out of breath, but it's bigger than walking. Okay, it's not just walking; it is actually getting where you're puffing. Okay, so making sure and that's for your heart health. Really, first and foremost, for your heart health. It then obviously said about vigorous activity. Now, I want to caveat this all by saying, if you're brand new to exercise, then you want to be just focusing on just getting to that breathless, that puffing stage. Like Georgie mentioned, 5 times a week. Okay, just moving your body just that little bit more than what feels comfortable. Again, you're pushing yourself out of that comfort zone a little bit. So it might be weight training. Weight training's exactly in that, because it's not necessarily where you're completely breathless. Obviously, you can weight train like that, absolutely, but just doing kind of like moderate weight training, is gonna get you, puffing by the end of your, repetitions.
So I just had a flashback to when we apparently did HIIT yoga. So apparently yoga can be vigorous.
Well, that was
according to Kyle.
That was what. Well, that was on International Yoga Day, and I think
I actually don't know what happened to my app. It went a bit crazy.
I think we decided to do high intensity interval yoga.
That was quite interesting. Anyway,
so there's absolutely exercise. Like yoga is a prime example of that. Like yoga is a fantastic way to move your body, and there are some challenging poses where you are going to get to that point where you're breathing quite heavy. So
crow pose. Poof.
I can't do crow pose. I might do a lying crow pose.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but
you're definitely not a crow.
And I want to also dive back to our previous episodes as well, where I spoke about exercise versus training, because this is like exercise recommendation, and this is something that we all should be doing without a doubt during our week, mainly for our heart health. And again, absolutely weight training again should be part of this for our bone health and our just our metabolism and muscle health as well. So when we're kind of getting older and it's starting to degenerate, so all of that is super, super, super important. Now, that's exercise. Now, we might be training for, let's say, an event, like a marathon, for example. And if we just went and did 20 minutes 3 times a week of vigorous exercise and then went to go and run a marathon, well, that's not going to work, obviously. So, we might be exercising for longer, but I would then flip it and say, I'm not, even though, yes, I guess exercise, I say, no, I'm training. So making sure we're exercising every day. I think every single day we want to be exercising.
Yeah. I think it goes back to your goals, so at the moment, like Kai and I, we exercise because one, it makes us feel great. And the second is just, we want to be healthy. So if you just want to be healthy, then absolutely 5 times a week, 30 minutes, get your heart rate up is absolutely perfect. And then moving a little bit more throughout the day, making sure you're hitting your steps every day, not just doing your 30 minutes of moderate exercise and then sitting down on the couch desk for the rest of the day or sitting down at an office. So I think it's, yes, that getting those 30 minutes in is really important. Obviously, if you're brand new to exercise, you don't even need to do 30 minutes, just 10, 15 minutes, just ease yourself in gradually, because you always see at the start of the year, everyone's sort of going to the gym, the car park's packed out, and people go absolutely crazy for like 3 weeks, and then they get injured, and then they get really sore, and they don't want to go back. So again, like when it comes like how long should I exercise for? 1, it depends on your goals. 2, it depends on your level of fitness. But you can't just go in as a complete beginner and start, doing an hour of weight training. Start off, just listen to your body. I think that's a really, really key thing here. But yes, we absolutely should be moving more in our day. So if you could just aim to move more and then get in that sort of 10 to 30 minutes as well, where you're getting your heart rate up a little bit. And that could even be like taking the stairs at work, you know? It can just be like incorporating a bit of exercise throughout the day. Like, people think they've got to go to the gym for an hour, or they've got to go and run on a treadmill, or you don't have to do any of that, I mean, yes, if you want to do that, amazing, but you don't have to. It could literally just be you start walking more, and that if you are a little bit unfit, you haven't moved in a while, that is going to get your heart rate up. So, just play around with things as well.
I think you touched on something perfect there. It's sometimes people see exercise as going to the gym. Yeah. And then when that does happen, and when we have that mentality of, I need to go to a gym to exercise, we might go and we might train for 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes, but then we'll use the rest of the day and be like, no, I'm not exercising now. And I'll sit down on my chair all day, or I sit on the sofa, or, I'm going to an office job, and my only cardio might be going to the coffee machine, or going to the coffee shop, which isn't really cardio, but that might be the only activity that you're doing. So you might have done some intense work for 30 minutes, but you're doing nothing for the rest of the day. So it's super important. I've got a bit of a flashback to when I used to work as a lifeguard when I was 16, and it was aqua aerobics. And we'd always have people doing aqua aerobics, and they would go after their session and then go straight to the cafe and, obviously eat all the cakes and things like that, which is, that's all cool. I just had a bit of a flashback there. And
I think just on that, you can't out-train a bad diet.
No, exactly. But, really the exercise portion should just be for our health. Yeah. Regardless of like
mental and physical.
Because it makes you feel good. And obviously, you're going to be healthier. I think for me, I've said this before, like I want to live to 100. And I want to be, so how can I optimize my fitness right now to be able to do that? And that is incorporating exercise into my day every single day, because the latter years of my life, which is a long way off yet, but I don't want to be just sat doing nothing all day, in a chair. I want to still be moving. So we've got to build in these incredible habits as early as we possibly can, so that we can continue to walk. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm with you 100%. I think, I used to think that, I had to train for an hour in the gym, and, and that was what I had to do. But no, it is just generally like just like moving a little bit more throughout the day, getting your heart rate up a few times a week. That's the ideal. That's what everybody should be aiming for in an ideal world. But we don't live in an ideal world, so I think it's figuring out what works for you. But I think, how long should you exercise for? Well, again, depends on your goals. If you are just exercising to be healthy, to lose a bit of weight, 5 times a week for 30 minutes is perfect. But on top of that, make sure you have your diet, on point, and also that you are moving throughout the day as well, that you're not just relying on that 30-minute training session or exercise to get you the results.
Perfect. Well, look, another incredible episode, another amazing question. And if you do have questions for us, then absolutely reach out to us, and we'll do our best to answer them in our honest and fun way. But look, wherever you are, have yourself an incredible day, and we'll see you on the next episode.
See you soon.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you have any burning questions that you want answered, be sure to reach out to us on social media. I'm Kyle Edward Hubbard on Facebook and Instagram.
And I'm Georgie L. Hubbard on Facebook and Instagram. If you've enjoyed today's episode, we would love it if you left us a review. And we look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Have an amazing day.